My dad wants to manage my inheritance? Plus update. Original post. I am 18 female senior in high school. When I was 2 years old, I was diagnosed with epilepsy, at which point my dad had an affair with a family friend. When confronted, my dad abandoned my mom and me, according to my grandma. We moved in with my grandparents. My mom went to college and became a teacher. I loved my family. My grandparents were always there for me. Eventually, I was able to find medicine to stop my seizures. My mom worked hard and never went without anything. My medicine cost hundreds of dollars each month, and I know it was really hard for my mom alone to cover these expenses. Several times I tried to reach out to my dad. If he answered the phone, he would simply say I can't speak right now and hang up or not answer. Fast forward to now. Both my grandparents have passed away and my mom died in a car accident 3 months ago. I went through my mom's finances and my dad never paid for child support. Never even helped with any of my medical bills. Then out of the blue, my dad messaged me via Facebook and asked me to meet him for lunch. At lunch, he told me that he heard about my mom's death. He felt like since I was still in high school, he should help me manage the money and house left to me. He said it would also help rebuild our father-daughter relationship. He then asked me to add him to my bank account. I told him I needed time to think things through, and I would call him later. Part of me feels like he's just using me now for the money, but the other half feels like if I don't allow his help, he will never speak to me again. What do I do? Now for the top advice before the little update. Don't do it. Talk to an attorney, please. Don't end up like Britney Spears. This is the 1OP. Talk to an estate attorney. You could consider explaining your dad's situation to your attorney and get some feedback. Since your mom passed so recently and you're still grieving, you may want to consider asking your attorney about setting up a trust for yourself. If not a trust, some kind of account that accrues a good amount of interest and doesn't allow you to blow through your money faster than you'd like. I'm very sorry about your mom. Good luck, OP. Also, OP, not allowing him to help you would lead him to not speaking to you ever again. That means you already know that he's not actually back in your life to help. You also know that as soon as he gets what he wants from helping you, he'll be gone. It's better to have all your money and no dad than to let that dad take it all and you still won't have a dad. He clearly wants to rob you blind and leave you. I would not trust your dad to do so. Hopefully there is another family member or you can get yourself an attorney to assist you. OP, your dad sounds dangerously selfish and is only thinking of himself. Please go no contact with him, especially since you are in a vulnerable place right now. He hasn't been there for you your whole life. He is a shark. Please avoid him. Considering he's only contacting her now, it's 100% him thinking of himself. If he was genuine, he'd have contacted her before her mother's death. Contact after, he's hoping to take her money to fund his life. Absolutely do not let your dad near your inheritance. Actually, he owes you the child support he never paid. You can't sue him for all the back child support. He never helped your mom nor you in any way, so please do not trust him. He will rob you and you will end up with nothing. You need this money, so if you have anyone that you absolutely trust, go to them and talk to them about this. Add him to bank accounts? Hell no. Ask him where was child support for the past 18 years. Honestly, it's probably best just to keep him out of your life. You didn't need him before, and you don't need him now. And now for the little update. I talked to my dad tonight. I told him that I want him to be more involved by coming to my concerts and graduation the second semester. I also told him that I have a financial advisor and lawyer to help me with the inheritance. He flipped out. He screamed at me that I'm just like my mother and stormed out. My friend's parents asked me to stay a few days with them when they saw me crying. I politely declined and came home. I just don't feel like being around people. So my question now is, what do I say or do if my dad reaches out again? Tell him to buzz off, as he was just there to use you for the money. If he cared about you, he would have paid child support and helped with the medical bills. Also, he would have made time for you when you called. That is not a dad. He is just a sperm donor. Garbage has thrown it out on its own. Don't bring it back inside. He has already shown you who he is. Listen. That proves that it really was all about the money and not about a relationship with you. I know it really sucks to realize that. If this was me, I would make sure to block him everywhere so he can't contact me again. And if he somehow gets through, I would ignore, not respond, tell him to screw off, and hang up. I'm so sorry this happened to you, but know that your life is better without someone like that in it. You're going to be okay. Now for the last story. Update. Girlfriend thinks she's 80% the reason for my success and got mad when I told her she's not. Original post. I have been dating my girlfriend for about 3.5 years now. I am 29 and she is 28. Overall, our relationship is great and we have a good dynamic. Today we hosted some family members because I got a huge promotion. While her mom was congratulating me, she said something along this line that she is 80% the reason for what I have achieved in life. To this, I just said, yeah, you wish. After this, she has been pretty mad at me that I don't appreciate her, which is not true. I do appreciate her and acknowledge her help, but 80% seems a bit too much to me. To be fair to me, it is me who has a double master's and an ACCA qualification. It is also me who has worked 85 hours a week for the last 4 to 5 years. To her, I'm trying to take away her sacrifices and just being an ungrateful douche. It's not like she stayed back and hurt her career for mine. She did also work towards hers but only got a bachelor's and has worked 35 to 40 hours a week for the duration of our relationship. I see this as a little red flag. Not enough to end the relationship, but I would like to get the credit where I deserve it. She says we can talk when I'm ready to acknowledge what she has done to me fairly, which to her is again 80%. How the heck should I deal with this? My mom thinks that I should just agree with her if that makes her happy, but I don't think that's fair to me. Any advice/opinion in my relationship? Edit. Looks like I need to add some info because this is being asked again and again. We don't live together. We had planned to move in together, but due to COVID, we couldn't. We did help each other financially, like loaning each other money, but it was for like 3 months at a time. I don't know why some people here think I'm trying to flex working 85 hours a week, but I'm not. It was info that I thought was essential to give context in the post. 85 hours is no flex, but I had to do it to turn my life around. Me saying above that she only has a bachelor is just in comparison for the sake of this post and to give context. I've not and ever crapped on her achievement and considered them inferior to mine, nor have I ever claimed 80% of what she has achieved. To be honest, if she wouldn't have quantified it, I would have no problem with it. Like, I myself say this that I couldn't have done it without her. But 80%? Now, come on. People also seem interested in why and how I work so much. Well, I have a job like every one of us does, which is 40 hours 6 days a week. And I was also trying to get my business started with my brother, in which I worked 40 to 45 hours 7 days a week. If you average this out, this is equal to 12.5 hours 7 days a week. All that being said, I couldn't leave one or the other. I needed my job to pay bills and have money, while I also wanted to get the business established so I could chill a little. Right now, I think I just have to keep this up for a couple more years to get everything where I want it. Edit 2. I did mention this in another comment. The things she has done for my POV and that I know she did are being emotionally there. She loaned me a significant amount of money once on short notice, which I paid back to her in 3 months. I have done the same for her. She also takes care of my dog once or twice every 2 months when I'm out of the city, and I'm grateful and thankful to her for these. My house chores, cooking, cleaning, and laundry situation is different than most. My neighbor has a catering business and I have worked out a plan with them for 3 meals a day. I also have a maid that comes 2 times a week so my place is in living condition and not a pile of trash. I do my own laundry like I should. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Y'all are absolutely crazy. First of all, they don't even live together, so it's reasonable to assume he's taking care of wherever he lives mainly by himself. Second, she hasn't provided any financial support to him while he's been doing this, and all you people can concentrate on is how he's diminishing her achievements? She has literally, in front of her family, attempted to take 80% of the credit for his ridiculous amount of studying and work. And you people want to talk about diminishing achievements? This sub is wild sometimes. SMH. Look man, I'm in the same boat as your partner. My girlfriend has almost finished the final part of her 4-year nursing degree, while working pretty much full-time throughout it. She goes to work, comes home, goes straight into the study for hours. Therefore, I cook our dinner, clean and tidy the house, make the bulk of the money and try to make her life easier any way I can. But I would never, ever attempt to tell anyone that I deserve any credit, let alone 80%. And I think I'm probably doing more for her than your girl is doing for you. That crap is wild, and the fact that she's pushing the issue is just another red flag. Do not do what your mom says and just agree with her to pacify her, as this could set the groundwork for a very unhealthy relationship. Sit her down, speak to her, maybe ask why she thinks she deserves 80% of the credit for the work you've done, and go from there. Anyone that thinks they are 80% responsible for someone else's success and says it out loud like that is a a-hole. Dude, I 100% break up a long-term relationship if my girlfriend said this stuff and did back down. It's just a wild argument that would have me question motivation, basic logic, intelligence, and the goal of the relationship. It's just freaking weird. I can't even come up with a comparison, and I've lived both sides. I got to master's while with my now ex-wife, and she was home with kids. And she got her PhD after that, and I took over the majority of child rearing and household duties. Neither of us would ever think that, let alone say that. Maybe like 5 to 10% of background noise reduction, 25% to make a point to family and friends or to get a laugh. 80% is right out. Absolutely. I would definitely be questioning the relationship. It's one thing for her to say it at all, but to not back down when questioned on it and to not be willing to discuss it until he agrees is freaking manipulative and childish at the very least. Very weird hill to die on for her. Like, how can you think your partner is only 20% responsible for the degree that he is studying? Like, I say that crap to my partner to rile her up, and she tells me to buzz off and laughs at me because it's a joke, and we both know that is not true. I'd never believe it, and I certainly wouldn't jump up in front of her family and say it. Like, what? It's so weird that she specified a percentage. Yeah, Opie keeps going over the number like that is the real issue here. 80? 80? I might accept 17.67 or if pressed 20.2 at most, but not 80. But it sort of is the real issue. If she said, yeah, well, 10% of that success is because of me, this is probably a non-issue. Both because it may be true, emotional support counts for something, and even if not, it's not a big number. So it's being a pretty big percentage is literally the issue. Do you live together? Not right now. COVID really hurt our plans. Hopefully in a few months if things go back to normal. Dude, to end this argument once and for all, ask her to write down a list of everything that she has done that is the reason for your success. My guess is that she won't be able to. And if she does manage some sort of list, you should come back, in writing, why she's wrong. She's childish though in my opinion, and I wouldn't give her the time of day if this is what upsets her. And now for the update. Girlfriend and I talked about what happened and how we both could have refrained from saying what we said. After talking it out, the best option seemed to be just to take a break and be friends. Most people in my last post wanted me to sit her down and make her write her contributions, which honestly, no offense, sounded like a terrible idea. It was too confrontational, and I knew she couldn't have written anything meaningful anyway. Like, what was she supposed to write? That she got me Egg McMuffin the other day? I simply asked her what was going on and why she got so upset when I was dismissive, rightfully in my opinion, of her outrageous claims. She admitted 80% came out wrong, but she only doubled down on it because I handled the situation horribly. I do appreciate her being there, but her literal contribution to my life is close to none. Other than the $3,000 she lent to me once, which I paid her back 3 weeks later, I can't think of anything else. As for the emotional support, I 100% agree that was there and made things a little easier now and then. I still have a few more years to go before I have my business all sorted out so I can leave my job, but until then I'm sticking to my schedule. This break kinda also makes sense with the promotion. I got transferred to the head office. It will definitely increase the distance between us. Managing the business will be a little difficult, but my brother has agreed to manage all local activities fully, so that eases my burden a lot. My brother owned part of the business. This is not the way I imagined things to turn out, but here we are. She brought up to remain exclusive, even though we are on a break, which made little sense to me. As of now, there are no boundaries and we are just friends. We have worked out most of the stuff, and we'll iron out the remaining problems as friends and probably will date again if either of us didn't find anyone else. I also wanted to say to all the people that jumped on her, she isn't a bad person. We all say stupid stuff and do ridiculous things. It was just not her day. Glad things worked out for you, Opie. I'm just puzzled by the decision to take a break. She brought up to remain exclusive, even though we are on a break, which made little sense to me. To me too. If you're no longer together and there's zero exclusivity, then why call it a break to begin with? I guess it's just not computing with me. I'm genuinely confused. Before I met my wife in 2005, I had multiple girls I dated who wanted us to not be together, needed a possible futurist to not be on the table, wanted me to move on, but then got mad at me when I started seeing other girls. Like, they wanted me to wait for them, but pretend I wasn't. I'd had to put my feelings completely on hold while I did. Indefinitely. Nah, girl, that ain't how this works. Taking a break seemed like the best option, to be honest, mostly because we still do have feelings for each other. It's just that we haven't been able to do stuff together and not put time into the relationship itself. I made it clear that we can't be exclusive since we aren't together. I think she was thinking more like getting space from each other without breaking up, while I considered it a breakup. Is she on the same page as you now? That you are broken up and not exclusive? In my opinion, if you are planning on getting back together with her, you should save the headache and remain exclusive for now. If you have no intentions of getting back together, then I see where you're coming from. Yes, we are on the same page. We are not exclusive, but I have no plans of sleeping with someone else, and I think she feels the same way. We are just not creating that boundary to avoid resentment if this break lasts a while, you know? Just break up. This break with no boundaries is actually a breakup, but you're keeping her as a backup plan. That's an awful thing to do. Stop leading her on and break up with her properly. You need to explicitly state you are broken up. Right now, it seems like you're keeping her as a backup and hoping for something better. You're leading her on even if you say otherwise. Being on a break implies that the break will have an end and you two will get together. You say you're on the same page, but unless you explicitly say this is a breakup, I don't plan on getting back together with you, she will keep waiting. I doubt that. I'd say she's about 80% over him by now.